Hey guys, Sasha from Mobile Geeks here, and this is actually my very first unboxing of a Sony smartphone. I haven't unboxed a Sony device since 5 or 6 days because we've unboxed the Sony Xperia Tablet S. So this is my first Sony smartphone, not my first Sony phone. I remember having a Sony Ericsson back in the days, like 10 years ago or so. This is the new Sony Xperia TX. And you might wonder what's the difference between the Sony Xperia T, this kind of James Bond phone, and the new Sony Xperia TX. I am about to tell you everything you need to know, but first of all, let's unbox this one. It was around 17,000 new Taiwan dollar. That's like 550 US dollars over here. And let's just start right away. Here is this little beauty. And let's see what else. It comes with a lot of accessories. Well, first of all, here's the battery, which is basically one of the first differentiations to the Sony Xperia T. Here is a USB to a micro USB. Thank God Sony is using standard equipment and standard cables, and not some companies from the US. I think it's cool to have new cables, so all the accessory manufacturers can build new devices. Here's a nice little headset. Okay, we're gonna leave this in there. Yeah, just to make sure that you always have a clean headset. You know, they have some spare, what is it? Spare in-ear rubbery thingies. And here comes the PSU. Kind of stylish, kind of small. And of course, it also comes with a bunch of manuals. Let's get rid of all this. Move this by the side. And let's take a look at the device itself, which in my opinion has an absolutely stunning design. Now watch out. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Well, first of all, you can see our ceiling. And yeah, that's it. Of course, oh, wow, this is so light. Wow. There's no battery in there. Before we are starting, let's just get the battery in there. And let's see where we can open it. Over here. And this will also reveal that you need to get a micro SIM card and a micro SD card. With the micro SD card, I think you can use them up to 32 gigabytes, which isn't too bad. By the way, that's a 1750 milliampere hour battery. The one on the Sony Xperia T comes with 1850. So slightly bigger battery, but a sealed one. And I think I'm a huge fan of exchangeable batteries. So, okay. It is still a pretty light phone. Okay, let me see. Here we go. That's it. This is only 127 grams with the battery. It's 8.6 millimeters thin. There you go. It's definitely not thick. And look at this shape, this round shape. I really like this. It feels good in your hand. This kind of soft touch plastic on the back. It just looks stunning. It doesn't look like all the other devices that are out there. Let me tell you a little bit about the specification. This is a 4.55 inch display, 720p display. That means it's a pixel density of 323. If I'm not wrong, 323. And it comes, of course, with a multi-touch screen, but with a 10-point multi-touch screen compared to the Sony Xperia T, which only features a 4-point multi-touch screen. So that's another difference. This one is based on Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 dual-core, right? But only with the Adreno 225, not like the Adreno 320 that we're getting with the S4 Pro, like on the Nexus 4 or Padphone 2 and LG Optimus G, but still, trust me, this offers you a lot of performance. There is a 13 megapixel camera on the back and a 1.3 megapixel camera on the front. Another difference of the Sony Xperia TX compared to the Sony Xperia T is it comes with a 3D panorama, sweep panorama feature Whatever that means, we're definitely about to find out. The Sony Xperia T doesn't support this feature at all. Yeah, and I think besides that, that's it pretty much. We have a micro USB connector here, and that's the rocker for the volume. And there's a little camera button. There's nothing on the bottom. There's a power button here on the upper left side, and we have a jack for your headset. And yeah, that's about it. Before we're switching it on, how about comparing it to a couple of other flagship phones? And of course, here's its big Asian competitor, the Samsung Galaxy S3. And as you can see, this is quite a difference in terms of design. Yeah, this looks a little bit more edgy here. The Sony, okay, let's move it over here so we don't have this mirror effect. And while the Samsung Galaxy S3 seems to be really round, but you know what, let's take a look from the side. Can you see that? I just love the Sony shape. In terms of the weight, I think the S3 was 133 or 135 grams, so it's slightly lighter. Well, you just can't tell if there's a difference. Well, of course, the S3 comes with a Super AMOLED display. That's a huge difference. Not for many, because there are also many people out there just loving an IPS display or an LCD display like the Sony Xperia TX Sports, but this one comes with a Super AMOLED display, same resolution, 1280 by 720, and it comes with an 8 megapixel camera here on the back, while this one sports a 30 megapixel camera. You know what, I have to admit something. We've been doing some test shot with this camera, and we weren't too excited about this. I'm not sure. It kind of feels, I wouldn't say blurry, but can I say foggy? I think I can say whatever I want to. Anyways, so in terms of size, you can definitely see they're kind of competing on the same level, right? Another competitor would of course be the new, oh, you know what, before we're heading over to the new Nokia, let's use the HTC One X. In terms of design and in terms of yeah, performance and everything, one of our favorite phones. And the difference is not really there. It seems like in terms of the sizes, all the new flagship phones are kind of competing on the same level. As you can see, oh no, now you can definitely see these differences of these shapes, right? With the Sony here and the HTC One X, by the way, which also sports an 8 megapixel camera on the back, a fantastic 8 megapixel camera on the back, if I can say that. And this one sports, like the Galaxy S3, a quad-core processor, but this is a Tegra 3, while the Galaxy S3 comes with the Samsung Exynos 4412. By the way, in terms of weight, once again, this is around 130, 133 grams, so they're almost the same, right? It's all around 130 grams in these days. Well, not for all phones out there, because here comes the Bud Spencer of phones. Well, if you don't know Bud Spencer, just Google it. That's the Nokia Lumia 920, and it weighs 185 grams. It's also a lot thicker, but also has a very, very unique and stylish design. And once again, look at the sizes. Can I see a pattern here? It doesn't even matter if it's an Android phone or if it's a Windows phone. The new flagship phones are all going for something in between 4.5 and 4.8 inch displays, which makes sense in my opinion. This one comes with an 8.7 megapixel camera, but that's the one with the PureView technology. That means optical image stabilizer, one of the best smartphone cams out there. The only one that I know that's better is the one from the PureView 808, but that one doesn't come with the optical image stabilizer. So what else do we have here? How about the Samsung Galaxy Note 2? Because this is of course a little bit bigger. That's the phone that Nicole is using on a daily basis, and she absolutely loves it. And all I can say right now is when you're walking down the streets here in Taiwan or when you're on a subway, girls love the Galaxy Note 2. Of course, this one comes with a huge 5.5-inch display. It's almost an inch bigger, but still, it's... oh, look at this. I mean, you're getting so much more screen, right? Of course, it's also heavier, a little bit thicker, and comes with an 8-megapixel camera, again 30 megapixel here, and it's the same Exynos 4412, but compared to the Galaxy S3, this one wants a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core instead of a 1.4 gigahertz quad-core on the Samsung Galaxy S3. And I just need to do this because we're going to play around with this phone again next week. That's the Samsung Galaxy S2, one of the most popular Android phones ever. And this is a little bit old right now. This is almost 2 years old now in February, but I still love it, even though it only sports a 4.3-inch display with a resolution of 800 by 480, which feels so 2010-ish. Maybe because it's from 2010. But this camera here, this 8-megapixel camera, still does fantastic pictures. I'm using the version with an extended battery. That's a 2000 milliampere battery in here with the original Samsung battery. And still, I just love this Super AMOLED Plus display. And it just feels good in your hand. And it's also a very stylish phone. Comes only with a dual-core processor, Cortex A9, also an Exynos 42, was it 4212 or 4210 at that time? Jeez, I'm sorry about that. Too many SoCs lately. But still, this one is running now CyanogenMod 9. I'm about to get a CyanogenMod 10 on here, and I'm going to tweak it just to show all these Samsung Galaxy S2 lovers out there. You know what? There's still a lot of juice left in this old fella here, and it's still a fantastic phone. Of course, it's smaller. Of course, it is slightly thicker with this new battery. The original version was like 115 grams, I think. One of the lightest phones out there. But now with the extended battery, it's maybe 10 grams heavier, and it's almost the same weight as the Sony Xperia TX. So that was a little comparison with its competitors. I'm sorry, I don't have an iPhone 5 here. It didn't even launch over here in Taiwan. And we flew over to Hong Kong at the beginning of November to get one, but I tell you what, it just wasn't possible at all. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit so we can see all this goodness. Takes a while to boot for the first time. Here we go. And let's take a look. Well, first of all, you see that the lock screen just gives you only two options, whether I want to go to my home screen, or I can also, whoops, here we go, start with the camera, and then just, let me just take a picture here of our studio, here of the box. Actually, no, I was shooting a video. Here we go, that's better. Let's see how that looks like. Okay, this is very greenish, which makes sense because we're using green filters in front of our LEDs here in the studio. Anyway, let's go back to the home screen and let's take a look at this customized UI from Sony. Okay, I can even zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. So first of all, what I can say, my first impression is it looks very stylish, right? You have these bullets over here showing you on which home screen you are right now. So you have all these unique Sony widgets here. Sony Select, and it also comes with a Sony player, and we're gonna walk through here. And a bunch of Sony social media tools, Right here we have the Walkman application. It also comes with an integrated FM radio, which is kind of nice. Sony Movies, Sony Album, which once again is its own little album application. Now that looks decent. Wow, where's this? I want to go there. Is this South America? Well, if you know this, well, just leave us a comment. So that looks really cool, right? But I tell you what, I wasn't able so far to take pictures with such a quality. Let's go back and let's check out some videos. Because of course you're... Oh, nice. Let's pump up the volume. Wow, that sounds great. Pretty good, huh? You know, this gives a... Let's try out the viewing angles. Can you see this? I have some color distortions. Well, it's still a gorgeous display, huh? Okay, let's go back to the home screen. Here we go. So, well, there's definitely some tweaks here in terms of customization of the home screen. When you're just pressing it and you're just holding it for a while, you can add shortcuts, bookmarks. There you go, all the different widgets here, and all the Sony tools. And what you can also do is to change your wallpaper and theme. Let's take a look at the applications here. So I told you already, we have this Walkman application. What Sony needs to have a Walkman application. It's their own little MP3 player, and there are a bunch of pre-installed. Let's try this one here, Stuck at Home. Let's see how that sounds. I tell you what, these speakers are absolutely amazing. Pretty cool, huh? And you know what? Now the special round shape here is kind of supporting the sound of the speaker by building up an additional, you know, volume here. That's pretty cool. It's a great idea. Okay. Oh yeah, we saw that. Of course, the Sony Walkman application has this little lock screen widget here where we can control it. Okay, let's go back and see what else do we have here. We have the Sony Timescape, which is, let's say, a social network aggregator. You can connect your Facebook, your Twitter, and whatnot account to it. And we saw already the Sony Album, and here's a setup guide. It's kind of walking you through the whole setup procedure of your new Sony Xperia TX. And here are some specific Taiwanese applications, like this game application, which takes you to a portal, or not. You know, I'm still lacking any understatement of this shiny sign, the shiny signs here. I just have no clue what I'm going to do here. So maybe I should just not download this. I told you about the FM radio, which is really nice. Of course, you need your headphones because they're using the headphones also as an antenna. And Music Go is here. Let's see, actually I haven't tried this one. You see, another Taiwanese streaming service. Let's cancel this. And then we have backup and restore, which I really like because, you know, there are not so many tech-savvy Android users out there that know how to root their device and do a titanium backup. But with this little Sony application here, you can easily back up and restore all your settings. And Track ID is basically a kind of Shazam. Right, so if you hear a music and you want to know what it is, right, just press on here. Of course, it's not gonna freaking out what I'm saying here, but anyways, I think you're getting the idea. So first impression of this device, I really like the design, and I tell you what, because smartphones in these days, they are almost the same in terms of specifications. We're all talking dual core, quad core, ice cream sandwich, jelly bean. By the way, we should check out the Android version here. Let me go to the settings, if I could find the settings. Jesus, am I blind? Hello settings. Here we go. About phone. So it's running Android Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0.4. Well, as I said, in terms of when you compare this to an HTC One X or to the Samsung Galaxy S3, well, they are all almost the same size, they are all almost the same weight, they are all very thin, the display size is almost the same. Okay, we have two quad-core devices and a dual-core one over here. But what I like about the Sony, it is a, can I say sophisticated design without sounding like a hipster? Because it is. It feels lovely in your hands. It's great to hold and it's great to look at. And I also like the very clean UI of Sony. They didn't screw it up in terms of having too many features, going too unique with their UI and with their launcher. This feels very solid and it just looks good. So we have to run a lot of benchmarks with this. We still have to check out the camera and we have to compare it to all their competitors. But at least this gives you a first idea of the new Sony Xperia TX. In my opinion, one of the best looking smartphones out there, and hopefully one of these handsets that helps Sony to become more competitive on this market, even though that we know there were some stats or analysis coming out saying Sony is now the number 3 again on the smartphone market. You know, I'm glad to hear it. It would be even better if Sony can actually grab some real decent market share, because being the number 3 on a market that is controlled by Apple and Samsung just leaves you with like 2 or 3% of market share or something like that. Anyways, it is a fantastic phone. So if you have a chance to get your hands on this one, try it out. I think it's a pretty good one. This is a new Sony Xperia TX. I'm Sasha from Mobile Geeks. Thank you so much for watching this 23 minutes long unboxing, hands-on and comparison. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment if you have any questions. Share the video if you think you should share it with your friends. And please give us a thumbs up. It really helps us to promote our channel. Thanks for watching.